Hello, welcome to Quarterpast 65, where we talk to those who are over 65, discuss their experiences, their challenges, their views, as we intend to use this program to bridge intergenerational gaps and also talk a little bit about development, especially as it concerns the elderly. I am Dr. Stella Dorgu, your host. Today, we are talking to a very distinguished Nigerian, a quintessential statesman, His Excellency Sam Igbe. He was born on the 13th of September 1929. He's a traditional ruler. He's the Iyase of Benin Kingdom. He's been that since 1999. He retired as a commissioner of police in 1978. He's an author of many books. Nigeria of Our Dreams, Random Thoughts, and Uzama, the Benin Monarchy. He's a member of the Order of Nigeria, which he was awarded in 2003. He has a D.Litt from the University of Benin. Our guest today was a former colonial civil servant and trained school teacher. He's an avid sports enthusiast. He's an education advocate, and he's passionate about youth, education, and learning. Welcome to our program, sir.
Thank you very much.
Looking back over your life, what was it like in pre-colonial Nigeria? And how do you compare the dreams that you had then about what Nigeria was to become and today? Do you still have hopes for Nigeria?
Looks as if I was too young then to think of today. I didn't think that I was going to be as old as this. I really didn't think of it at all. I thought I was going to be young forever. Well, come to think of it, I'm young, even as at now.
As a nanogenarian?
Yes. So I really don't think what tomorrow is going to be or what yesterday was. I just get on.
You were a police commissioner. It's the highest rank, apart from when you get into being AIG, DIG, or IG. It's the highest administrative rank for the police. And now, you are at the highest chieftaincy rank for the Benin Kingdom. What inspired this transition from being, should I say, a technocrat, and now a traditional ruler? How do you use your role? How did you use it when you were commissioner of police? And how do you use your role today to influence governance and society?
Governments you can't influence. That's my view. Maybe not other people's view. People who govern do what they like best. It's difficult to go and tell them to change. I was a police officer, I was a teacher. I enjoyed them. I didn't really think that they were anything special. But I just plugged on. I enjoyed what I was doing. Well, you know what? I still enjoy my living today. At times I look at myself in the mirror and I say, wow, this fellow is getting old. But I enjoy my old age. God. And that's what I have been all my life. I enjoyed what
every phase of your life.
How I lived and what I became.
How did you make that transition from being a police commissioner to now being a traditional chief?
You know, you really don't think of it. You just plug on. I was a commissioner of police, all right. There was a job to do, and I just did them. I woke up in the morning, got dressed, went to the office, and I transited into an old man, a chief, and I enjoyed it, just as I enjoyed my being a commissioner of police.
How has the Benin Kingdom preserved its traditions? What role do elders play in passing these traditions down?
Well, I don't know, these days we hardly play any role. The youths are gradually taking over, and in their own way, they are doing the best. They are Benin people, and they think they are, and they think what they are doing is the best as far as they are concerned. We watch them. The youths are getting on. They have their way of life. If they come to you, you talk to them. But they are getting on one way or the other. They are getting on, and they are enjoying their own style of living. When I'm talking with some of the young ones, we did this thing this way in our time. But perhaps it's not the best way for them today. Our best way then may not be their best today. They get on anyway. If they come to you and ask questions, you answer. That's the best we can do.
And give your own nuggets of wisdom to perhaps help them. You have written quite a number of books, and I have the privilege of having not read everything, but some parts of Random Thoughts.
Okay.
And I thought that was insightful. It was simple. I mean, lucid to any reader. Insightful. So much wisdom that was imparted. Where I'm going to now is to talk about the way that you described the police force. You were brutally frank, if I must use one of the terms of another elder statesman in Anno Generian too. You talked about the impunity. You talked about the fact that maybe the transition hasn't been made from the way they were set up, being an oppressive outfit instead of being a protective outfit. And you highlighted some things for there to be rebirth, a rethinking. I want to use the police force, which you know a lot about, as the microcosm of our country, which is today bedeviled by many problems. How do you think, in your experience, we can change our institutions, ensure that all of those extant laws, we have them in plenty, can be used to truly develop Nigeria?
Well, Nigeria, the way I see it, will develop itself. And it is these same young people who are living their own ways that will develop them. It is their growth that we will regard as development, not our own. We have lived our own lives. And if we think we are going to live the way we live, we will be wasting our time. They have the way they want to live. They have their ways. Just as you have come here, a few young chaps have come here, and they ask me questions. At times, I tell them that the question they've asked, they would answer better if they try. Not me. I didn't live the way they were living. I didn't live their own life. I didn't grow their own way. It's not possible for me to answer questions the way they would answer them. But I tell them that whatever they think, their ways of life are good if they make them good. The whole thing depends on them. I can come and tell my first son now how to live. In any case, he doesn't live with me. He's been away for a long time. When he comes here, he's happy to be here. He finds that I am younger than he thought I would be. But they have their ways of life, these young ones. If they come to you for advice, you give them the way you know. At times, it suits them. At times, it doesn't.
So they're free to take what they need,
yes,
and then jettison
exactly
what they think would not work. But there are some fundamental principles of life that you yourself have talked about. Basic values, basic issues of integrity, of honesty, lack of corruption, understanding the God in you and the God above. And those things that we must pass on to them, that we must instill in them.
What would I, at my age, do to change my first son now? How to live? I don't live their own way, and I didn't live their own way. The best you can do is to advise, is to try and see what they are doing is good or not. If they ask you questions, you answer your own way, not their own way. So you don't try to change them. You don't want to impose. It doesn't help them. Trying to change them, it doesn't help them. They have their way of life. They have the way they think. Even though they lived with you, and perhaps try to go along with what you tell them when you were young. At this time, I don't tell my son what to do. It's no use. He's already grown to the extent that he might be telling me how to live in their own way. Well,
and it says that in the Bible too, that when you're young, you do what you want to do.
Exactly.
But when you're old, then, like you're saying, the children will lead you.
Yeah. If my children, quite a few of them live with me, if they think the way I lived suits them now, then they can try and use it. If not, they are living their own life. I don't try to change them.
But you have written all these books where you've given us all of that wisdom for us to add to our own knowledge base.
Yes, the best you can do is put them down. This is how we live. If they think it is good, they take it. But they don't have to take it. They don't. I lived some of my life as a houseboy with my senior uncles and so on. And then they send me on errands, they tell me things and so on. As much as I could, I took them. But they were not my way. Well, but none of them said I was a bad boy because I tried to do what they want me to do. That's the best thing you can do with living with the old age. You do what they want you to do. In your own lifestyle, they may not be the best, but it is the best for them. Now they are asking you to do what they want done, and you do it nicely. And that's how we have lived with our elders. They tell you to do things. You do them, but you tell them, Baba, supposing we do it this way. And if they agree, you do it. They don't know, no, do it the way I want. Yes, sir. Domo Yahweh. You do it. Living is individual. I live the way I want. And I can't tell my children how to live. Those of them who live with me, if they want to take any of my style of living, they are free to. But I won't change to their own because it's too late. It's too late. Yeah.
Well, you have done your part.
Yes, 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 yes.
Today, we are living in a global world ruled by the internet, social media, and now AI.
What's that?
Artificial intelligence. I was intrigued when you credited much of your book, Random Thoughts, the way that it came out, to the internet. And I said, wow, this our Iyase, he is something else. Is this something, yes, sir. Is this something that you think that older people should try to master? Or how do you think they will be able to navigate this new world of the internet and the artificial intelligence?
Well, tell you what, I didn't write those things for the older people. They lived their lives. And I didn't think they were going to come back and live our own way. So some of them try to read. They try to read what I have written. Yeah, I said, this is good. Oh. I said, yes. They are not really meant for you. They are meant for those coming. To see whether what you left behind is good for them. Then it is for them to decide. You've lived, I've lived with you quite a few of us lived with elders. They try to make us live their own way. Well, you do it as much as you can, but as soon as they go, you live your way.
You live your own way.
Yeah.
No doubt, getting up to this point, you faced many challenges. Challenges of leadership, we've been talking a little bit about it, as a police commissioner. Challenges of leadership as the Iyase. Were there any common threads in the style of leadership that you use as a commissioner and now as an Iyase?
Yes, definitely. A lot of changes. The police commissioner has rules, has ways of life, things they should do and what they shouldn't do. They have people to mold, whether you like it or not, into what you think is the best police way. But at this age, it's difficult to tell my children, live like I lived. A lot of them didn't see me live. They just grew up to meet me this way. It's not going to change them now. Well, when they ask me questions, I answer.
What were some specific challenges that you think you had, and how did you overcome them? You said that you plug on,
yes,
but there were specific.
If I tell you how I lived, that is going to take some time. Well, my father was a timber contractor and he was down there in Yekone plugging away with the logs and so on. And I was living with uncles and brothers and so on. And it wasn't easy at all living with them the way I lived with my father. You grew up and you went to school. I was a house boy for some of the time. And it wasn't fun at all. The way you live with your father and the way you live with an uncle or a friend. So it's difficult to compare. And most of the time I don't compare at all. But I remember them and I say, well, that was a time. That's what they were.
And you overcame whatever challenges in your own way.
Oh yes. Some of them were
taskmasters.
not pleasant. Some you enjoyed doing because you think when you get back to the area, after all, I did it. You are happy to have done it. But the way we lived as children would not compare the way we inhabited our father's homes. My father actually doted on me. He did. And when I had to go to school, when he was in the village and I had to come to Benin, he didn't quite like it. But there was nothing he could do.
He too understood the importance of an education and so had to let you?
No, he didn't go to school. He didn't go near. He didn't go near.
So he just allowed you because he thought education was going to help you.
That was what was in vogue. Children had to go to school, and he sent me at the age of 10 to Benin to deal with somebody so that I could go to school.
From your own experience, from where you sit now, how would you describe the role of a father in a home?
By describing my own role as a father to my children, they wouldn't think I'm what do you call it, a major father.
Major general.
Yeah.
No.
But I made my children do what I want. What I wanted. But we find that living today is quite different from the type we lived. Most of the time I was a house boy or living with one person or another. But these days, my children lived with me until they couldn't go to school where I was. And I was all over the place. And I couldn't start carrying them all the place. So they had to live in with uncles and friends and my senior brother.
So that in a way, they too continued that cycle, even though we wouldn't say they were house boys to.
They continued. They had to go to school. Yes. I was in Anambra. I couldn't bring them to Anambra to start going to school. Where in the junior schools, the language was Igbo. But I sent them to Benin. At least they should learn how to speak Benin. But most of the time I wasn't in Benin, and if I took them away, they would grow up without speaking Benin. So they had to come home.
You didn't talk about your mother.
My mother?
Yes.
It's a pity. I shouldn't be talking about them. Otherwise,
you see tears.
Tears coming. So because my mother was a giant woman.
Wow.
And she was a pretty woman.
Oh. And she begat a handsome man.
No, she was a pretty woman. No, she shouldn't have died.
At the time she
did.
How old were you then when she died?
I was getting, I had already gone far in the family. I think I was in the secondary school when she died. I was in Edo College when she died. I was with my father, still plodding along with me.
With him in Yokoro. But you were old enough to know that this was a gem of a woman. She was a special person.
And she was beautiful.
Oh.
She was.
Before I go into relationships and partnerships. I want to talk a little bit about women. Women face a lot of discrimination, especially even in the Benin Kingdom. It's a patriarchal society, and it's nice to see you just really talk so specially about your mother. And I think even in the Benin Kingdom, when we talk about all of the artwork and everything, it's the Obas and the Yoba that they made heads of and things like that. So to that extent, a woman or the mother of the or king was important and was supposed to be revered. But in other areas, women were not really revered. Women were not, they were not given any kind of special position except women that they are. What do you think we should do? Is there going to be in modern Benin Kingdom a place for women? Do you, for example, see a woman becoming an Iyase?
No, it's not the culture. I don't know whether the woman will want to be. That is the main thing. The way the Beninese live does not make room for a woman ruling them. All our history, that type of thing did not happen. Oh, we have the Yoba, we have the thing. We give them their respect. She talks, some people move. But to come to this stage of being the head,
we had a few warriors. We had a few women being warriors.
That doesn't make you the head of the people. When even you were a warrior, you had men who did what you wanted to do. There are women we revered in our history.
Yeah, immortal.
Yeah. You should know more than that.
I just stopped at those two.
Yeah, we had quite a few of them who were even warriors. But that was where it stopped. For them to become the rulers, it didn't work. But their position was quite envied, even by the men. But it didn't work for them to become king, that type of thing.
What about
the Iyase and all the people? They even went to war, and people fought under them.
But they were brave women.
Brave, yes.
Daring.
You want me to say that, I'm sure.
Yeah. What about today? What role do you see for women? Women are doing so many things.
They are doing
business women.
Yeah, they are doing what they think they should do, not what we think they should do. The time is past when you say this is what a woman should do, this is what a man should do. Everybody does what he should. But women are stronger than men these days. I mean, up there.
Okay.
And they did what they think should be done. I don't think anybody envies a woman for doing what he should do. We appreciate it. Appreciate a woman who does what should be done. What we think we should have done better, and we see a woman do it. We appreciate it.
The Yorubas have a proverb. They say that it doesn't matter who kills the snake, as long as the snake is dead, whether it's the woman or the man.
Yeah, it's a proverb that started in here too. Okay. We have it.
Now, let me talk a little bit about your life. As a married man, you have been doing that. As a married man of so many years, over 60 years. I wish Madam were here I would have wanted to talk to her.
Yeah.
So that when you're talking, she'll be able to say,
she thinks she should be in Lagos now. So she's there.
So she's there. And there's nothing you can do to disturb her or to tell her not to do that. But what are the things that people can learn from the longevity of the marriage? People have so many recipes. What is your own recipe? You were talking in your book and you talked about recipes for recipe for greatness. Yes. What is the recipe to sustain a long married relationship?
Well, the most important thing is that appreciation of one or the other is the gentleman realizes that the wife is that and that, and ensure that he knows it and looks like living by it, then that is a recipe for him. But generally, understanding one another.
It takes time.
Oh,
It takes time.
see,
It takes time to understand the other person.
well, I don't know whether it does. Before you know one another to the point of marriage, you would have known one another. And it is difficult to change what you know. As soon as you grow old, it's difficult to change. Well, I don't see how I can start fighting with a woman now. It won't happen.
It won't happen.
I've learned to live with a woman for a long time now, and nobody interfered. No, a woman should understand her husband, and the husband should understand the wife. And this is a thing that comes naturally. If you allow anything otherwise,
There'll be a breakdown.
yes,
in communication. People talk about trust, communication, understanding,
these are the things.
Humility,
Yes,
submission,
yes,
respect.
yes,
Are these all the things that you two
yes,
think are important ingredients?
yes. If it's not coming, one should bow for the other. It isn't coming the way you are talking now. By the time you bow for today, the thing is changed. Yeah, I can't imagine like they used to do where you hear them fighting inside the house. That doesn't happen again with young people like us. Yeah.
And so, all of these things that we hear today, well, it's not only today. Domestic abuse, to the extent of one person or the other losing their lives, because it's not only the man who does away with the wife. We've heard stories of women also doing the same thing, where men are hacked, women are hacked, things like that. That's their life.
If they don't, it is they who
came together in the first place.
No, not just coming, but it is they who bear the truth. If you live with a husband in the house and it is quarrel, it's you who bears the repercussions. You want a home, and men and women are realizing that. When we were younger, perhaps at about 9:30 p.m. or something, you hear fights in the nearby house. That type of thing doesn't happen these days. I don't think I've heard of that for a long time. husbands and wives don't fight like that,
like that. Yeah.
They don't.
There is a
They are beginning to live happily. They are beginning to understand.
There's a more civil way to
Yes.
discuss and overcome problems. When one gets older, as one gets older, there are certain things that you can't do the way you used to do them when you were 40, 50, 60, 70. And the elderly have quite a few health challenges, mobility due to arthritis, loss of eyesight, loss of hearing, spondylosis, and all of those things. In your view, who do you think should be helping the elderly to overcome these health challenges, especially in a country like ours, where we have multidimensional poverty, and as you get older, the pension isn't there. You can't go to the farm the way you used to. You can't do much. Who should be responsible for helping the elderly to cope with these various ailments?
Well, come to think of it, in these other places where we are having this is handed over to us, the way I think of it, they grow old, and you find two of them living there and
alone.
Huh?
I said alone.
Yes, and they are happy. I don't see why we can't be happy when we get married and we get old.
Yeah, who takes care of all the medical bills is what I'm asking.
The way the rich get richer, the poor gets poorer. And they live by it. Getting poorer means that they carry their yoke.
People say that in other climes, at least to a large extent, government recognizes the fact that older people have these ailments.
You are coming to a different this thing. Government doesn't know what is happening in your home. It's when there's some disagreement and so on that government gets to know. How does government know that you have a little bit of a quarrel in your home?
No, I'm not talking about the quarrel, sir.
If there's something that is happening to you and your husband doesn't do it, the quarrel comes. That's the problem. I don't know. The government doesn't run your home for you.
But can they help to ameliorate some of the health problems that the elderly face?
Well, I don't know whether they are doing. I don't know any what they do it. These white people over there, perhaps
they do.
Well, because right from time they have a way of helping with the means of doing it. Yeah, nobody has ever thought of government or anything helping your home or how you are thinking of how you can pay
more taxes.
No, I don't know. I don't know. I've never thought of going to government to come and do anything in my home. And I don't know of any man, self-respecting man who does that.
Again, some recipes or ingredients for longevity. You are a nonagenarian, and in a couple of years, you'll be a centenarian. You must be congratulated, and you're still looking so fit and sprightly, if I must say.
Look,
how did you do it?
I don't feel it.
Of course not.
Even though I look.
Yes.
I'm not as strong as I look.
Let's take a break now.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's 65, and we're having a wonderful, insightful conversation with the Iyase Benin. And we're asking you about longevity. What's your recipe for you being almost a centenarian?
I really don't know. I always been a sportsman.
Yes.
Played football and did athletics, and I grew up with these things.
Yes.
These days I can't do any of them, but I walk around the house.
What's your favorite food?
My favorite food? Never really thought of it. You give me anything. I don't discriminate.
You have a favorite song?
You want me to sing?
If you can, I would love to hear. Wonderful, sir. Wonderful. Wonderful. Can we have the translation? Folk song.
The day you find yourself in a pit, deep pit, child with a father runs away, the child with a mother runs away, and only those of us who don't run for things wait.
Wow.
To redeem yourself.
Deep.
Well, that's what.
Quite profound. What would you like to be remembered for?
Quite honestly, I don't know. Never thought of it. That I should be remembered for anything after I've gone.
Yes.
It's the children who would think of that.
We think of you as a quintessential statesman, a traditionalist, an administrator, a writer.
Yeah. I've never thought of it.
Thank you very much, sir. I've had a wonderful, insightful, very interesting time speaking with you. It's time for us to draw the curtain on today's program of Quarterpast 65. Please share, like, join us on our various social media handles: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Tell us what topics you think we should be talking about. Till I come your way again, it's bye for now.